Okay, with GCS, we were looking at our numbers. These are some hard numbers. Most of your numbers are going to be easier, a little more cooked up. So remember how to do this division? What should we divide by? What do they all have in common? 2. Start low, right? So divide them all by 2. Go ahead. 12, 18, 20. What can we divide by again? 2, 6, 9, and 10. Now 6 and 9, yes, but nothing else works out for all 3. So that's your GCF. 2 times 2, which equals 4. So for the hard numbers, use that. You won't need to use it too often. Okay, please go ahead and do that for number 2. What does it equal? 14. Okay. So, what this says here, just scratch that part out. That's a little bit weird. I don't really teach it that way anymore. So we want to look for each variable that's in both of them and the lowest power. So what I mean by that is here we have m5, n squared, m cubed, n4. Which letters in both? Well, both of them have an m, and both of them have an n. Now for m, the letter m, which is the lowest exponent? It's not a hard question. And for the letter n, what's the lowest exponent? 2. So that, in fact, is the GCF. Okay? M cubed, n squared. One single term. If there's numbers, we would look at them separately. So let's look at number 2. What letters are in both terms? There's an x in both of them. What's the lowest exponent on the x? 2. Yeah, 2 is lower than 5. Pretty easy. Looking at the y, which one's the lowest exponent? 2. Now what about the numbers 7 and 48? Is there a GCF with that? What is it? It's not. If it was a 49, yes, but it's not. Okay. So sometimes you'll see that the GCF is only letters. Okay? You're not going to see that too often. Okay. Just be careful with that. Next one. Now we're going to have a combination of letters and numbers. Okay. So do your letters and your numbers. So 4 is your GCF, but then the letters 4, x squared, y, z. Okay, so those are the lowest exponents on the letters. And looking at the 28 and the 40, the lowest GCF would be 4. Sorry, highest GCF would be 4. Okay. All right, try the next one, number 4. Go. Looking at the numbers and letters. Okay. Letters would be what? X exponent 3, y. Why didn't I put a w in there? Yeah, it's not common. There's no w in the first term, okay? The letters must be in both. Okay, letters must be in both. That's the first time you've seen that. Okay, what about the number? 6? Yeah, it should be a negative. Since there's a negative sign in both, you should take out a -6. Any questions? Okay, we're going to start putting that together. Directions. You will see this. You will see the word simplifying. What does that mean? It means to remove brackets. So when we go across our equal sign, now you have no more brackets. And we do that by multiplying. And of course, after we multiply, we should collect like terms, if we can. Whereas for the word factoring, you have to add brackets. And we do that by dividing. Okay. So one is adding brackets for factoring, and the other one is removing brackets for simplifying. So look for that in your vocab. Sorry, not in your vocab. Look for that in your instructions. Okay. So we're going to factor. First thing you want to do is find the GCF. Divide out the GCF from each term and write it as a product of the GCF and the remainder. So it's a multiplication, okay, of those two items. So 6x and 18, what's the GCF? Looking at your numbers, 6. So we can write that, like we learned last year in grade 9, as 6x divided by 6 and minus 18 divided by 6. Okay, so that's exactly what this division means. Each part is divided by 6. So we write it as 6, and our remainder goes in the brackets. So now you can divide and see what our remainder is. Well, what's 6x divided by 6? X. What's 18 divided by 6? 3. Hey, what would happen if we multiplied this out now? What would happen if we went 6 times x minus 3? What would we get? That's your check. Right? 6x minus 18, it's got to be the same as what we started with. If it's not the same, you made a mistake. Okay. All right. Next one. What should we divide by here? Not just 6. 6x squared. So that's like taking the first term, dividing by 6x squared, and the second term as well, dividing by 6x squared. So 6x squared is your GCF. Okay, your GCF always goes outside your brackets, and your remainder goes inside. Pinto, what's the answer? Okay. So if we multiplied that out, then we would get negative 18x cubed. Good. Yeah, that's tricky, right? We're not used to doing that. Remember, 6 divided by 6 is 1. X squared divided by x squared is 1. We must write the 1. If we don't, we won't get what we started with. Okay, so always write the 1. That's very, very important. That's usually where mistakes are made. Okay, thumbs up, down in the middle. What would you say? Good. All right, so let's do a couple more practice ones. Turn it over. What's your GCF? Dion? Any ideas? GCF? 10, 15, and 5? Good. And what about your letters? Good. So divide each one by 5z. Haley, what's the answer? Good job on that plus 1. Okay, you have to have it there, so we're challenging you again. If things divide perfectly, you must put a plus 1. Hands up if you got that. Okay, any questions at all here? Why did things? This is a good chance for you to ask a question, solidify your understanding. I'm not going on until someone asks a question. Awkward silence. Anyone? Slater, what's your question? Probably, what's your question? Yeah. No. Okay, next one then. We'll go on. What's your GCF? (1421.28). Your GCF is 7x squared. All right, go for it. Do your division. Nassim?
2x cubed minus 3x plus 4.
Hands up if you got that. Good. Now make sure you have it exactly written as I have. Anything else is wrong. You've got to have both parts. Hard up. Yeah, so what we're doing here is, whoops, get rid of that. Right here we're going on your x5 divided by x squared. We're going x exponent 5 minus 3, which gives us x2. And that's why we're getting an x cubed. Sorry, I got those wrong. 5 minus 2 gives us a 3. There you go. Okay, good question. You guys okay how we're getting the exponents during the divisions? All right, so now we're going to bump it up a notch. We're going to get harder and harder examples here. Just a little bit. It's within reach. Just another letter now. So now you're dividing by GCF, that will have 2 letters because there's 2 letters in each term. Go. What's your GCF? 6 m squared n. So we're dividing each term by that. What are you going to get? Jordan? Good job on the +1. Awesome. Okay, so don't forget that +1 must be there. Things divide to 1. Guy. Number 6. What's smacking you in the face right now with number 6? What's weird? What's different? What's smacking you in the face? Catherine? Exactly. Not just all of them, but the first one. Okay, so the first one is negative. That should be hurting you right now. And so what do you think you're going to have for a GCF if you have a negative sign at the front? Negative GCF. Okay, go ahead, take out a negative GCF. Go. Have to be very careful with your signs on this one. Super careful. So when you divide, watch your signs. Okay. Any questions with that? Both the signs or any division stuff? Okay, it has to be exactly as I've written it. Well, hopefully they'll need her, but okay. Excuse me. Now, what I'm going to do to help you with this one, it looks weird, looks different. There's 2 terms. Terms are separated by plus or minus sign. What is the same in the 2 terms? What's your GCF? What's the same here as it is there? You can say it. A plus 3b, right? What's the same is that the GCF equals, in brackets, a plus 3b. So it's actually a polynomial. So what we're going to do is divide this by, in brackets, a plus 3b. It's going to be nothing new. A plus 3b goes up front. That's your GCF. Oh, it looks different, but who cares? Still a GCF. And what's the remainder? Well, I'm just going to write this out the long way here. A plus 3b minus 9y, a plus 3b, and divide each of them by a plus 3b, a plus 3b. Oh, cross these out. What's remaining? 5x minus 9y. Okay, so your GCF is a bit more complicated. How many terms are there in this expression for question 8? Good. So there's 1, 2, 3. That's important to see. Very important to see. What's the same with all 3? What is your GCF? Y minus 4. Okay, go ahead. Do your division now. It'd be a lot like question 7. Now 7 and 8 are not very common. You'll maybe see them 4 times the entire year. They're very rare. Okay, but if you see them, you'll know what to do now. Right, you have a chance at them. Any questions with 7 or 8? They look different though, don't they? But they're still very, very simple. Just take out GCF. Okay, I have some missing here. Now this is a little bit weird. What's drawn here that I don't have? 6? Now this is, what's the weird part is it's hard to do these just like we did the multiplying from before. So what I want you to do is put these into an expression. All together, what do we have here? How many x squareds? 3. How many x's? And how many 1 tiles? 6. Good. What's the GCF? Oh, you guys. 18. What's the GCF? 3, 9, and 18. 3. So what we're doing is dividing these, which is a little bit weird, into 3 equal groups. What's your answer? X squared plus 3x plus 6. And you'll see now that each group is part of the answer. Okay, so this is a little bit different doing this stuff. A little bit weird. And that's just for like one question in the textbook, so don't get too crazy about it. This one now is more normal. Okay, so what should we put in here? See how it's grouped like where it makes that nice rectangular shape? So this would be 2x, and what goes up top? Yep, 2x plus 3. So writing out the long way, we say 4x squared plus 6x divided by 2x equals 2x plus 3. There you go. Okay. You guys should have absolutely no homework because you got way more time than the other class because we already went over your tests. They didn't, so they had to go over their tests. Hey, we went over your tests, right? Yeah, good. Okay, so lots of time to get your homework done, but you got to work on it. If you don't work on it, ain't going to happen. You really want to make sure you're strong on this. Go.